go.
Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Welcome to the Views from the Booth podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Barrow, and with me, as always, is Irving Ravello. And if you were here with us last week, welcome back. We are going over the teams that will be eligible for the number one pick in the 2026 NFL draft. And so the way that we're doing this, me and Irving took two different approaches. So Irving is listing his 5 most likely teams to get the number one pick, whereas mine's a little bit more sophisticated. So what I've noticed over the last decade is that every team that's drafted number one overall, they either have a rookie quarterback, a rookie coach, the worst quarterback room, and just to throw an extra one in there, the worst overall roster, which, believe it or not, the worst overall roster doesn't always draft number one. And I'm not just talking due to trades. Irving, who is the next team on your list?
The 4th team on my list is the Carolina Panthers. And even though they might have an all right QB room, they don't convince me enough to at least be a decent. We have Dave Canales. I checked his resume over here. You know, he started out with USC as an assistant strength coach, Seattle Seahawks as a wide receivers coach, quarterback coach with Seattle. And then he was the passing game coordinator in Seattle. Went up to quarterbacks coach, and then he became an offensive coordinator 2023 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the Panthers are like, hey, let's get some of that offensive action. And so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because the Panthers kind of confused me last year because they took Bryce Young out, and then they're like, actually, no, you might be better than the previous guy. Remind me who did they put QB at helm when they took Bryce Young? Andy Dalton? It was Andy Dalton. Yeah, so it was Andy Dalton, which I don't know why they did that, but because Andy wasn't even that good even when he was that younger. But that's just me. He was all right. But I think they'll have a better record than last year, but it won't be that much, and I'll tell you why. Week 1 against the Jaguars in Jacksonville. Sorry, that's week 1. It's an away game. That's just for me. I mean, I could be really wrong, but I don't think so. They have one against the Cardinals in week 2. That has potential. Who knows? They have the Falcons week 3. I don't think in week 4 they'll beat the Patriots at home in Gillette Stadium. They also have Miami coming and they're hosting the Miami Dolphins. They could get that. I don't know. I mean, the Dolphins are not convincing me as a team, anyways. We have another ridiculous game. We have the Cowboys going to Carolina, playing the Panthers. A lot of these are games because I'm not as confident for them as a team to get these wins. They have the New York Jets. I don't know about that. Bills, and this is where the schedule I think gets harder right here. They are hosting the Bills. I don't think so. They're going to Lambeau Field against the Packers. I don't think so. Here's an easy win. They have, they're home with the Saints. And then they're going to Atlanta. I don't think they will win that one. They'll go to San Francisco. I don't think they're going to win that one. They're hosting the Rams in week 13. I don't think so. Maybe the Saints. The following week, they have week 16 against the Bucks. I don't think so. I think the Bucks, it's playoff mode. Bucks are going to beat them. Then they have Seattle. And that can go up anywhere. And then they finish off the game. Dang, that is tough right here. They played the Buccaneers in week 16 and then week 18. I don't think they're going to win either of those games.
Wow.
I don't think so as a team.
Wow.
But here's the reason why, though. The biggest question for me with Carolina, and maybe you can answer this because I'm not confident as any, and I wasn't even confident with him during the draft because I don't know if it's just the Carolina Panthers organization, or Bryce Young. I'm not confident with Bryce Young. I have to still see it. He's in year 3. He's not giving a glimmer of slightly a hope. I mean, if we check his stats, which I did right here, his rookie year, he had 15 touchdowns. Or sorry, he had 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He bumped it up, a little bit more the next year, 15 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. But over the 2-year span, his stats are kind of wonky in terms of like completions. Not he's gotten a bit better, but I also have to deem I have to give him the benefit of the doubt because he doesn't exactly have the best O line in the league at all. But I'm just not convinced with the Carolina Panthers as a squad um, to um, get enough wins to. I think they're going to be in this purgatory state too. I think
Mm.
they won't be number one, and if they are, I won't be surprised. But I think they're gonna have like a seventh, eighth pick. The schedule is kind of
Wow.
mid and in a way, but here's the thing though. I mean, a lot of the games I said there are kind of to win. They could prove me wrong, and maybe Bryce Young is that guy and that leads into victory. And if that's the case, and let's just assume that Bryce Young just steps up even further, and Panthers slightly get better as a team, I could see at least like 5 wins, 5, 6 wins. But that's just tough love with them. So that's my thoughts. What about you, man?
Yeah, I think we're on different ends of the spectrum
Oh
here.
wow,
So
okay.
the schedule is not great. I'll admit that it's not the best in the world, but I think part of the thing that's it's hard because I can see the direction that Carolina is going, but it is hard to
It's gonna take a while.
it's kind of hard to put the blinders on what they've been the last few years.
Hmm.
If let me see if I can get this right off at the top of my head. So the Jets have the longest active playoff drought, and I think it's between the Falcons and yeah, because the Broncos made it this past
Last year,
season.
yeah.
I think it's the Panthers and the Falcons that are tied for second, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
So it's been a while since they've been back to the postseason, but I don't think this team is even close to being number one overall pick worthy. And yes, Bryce Young, it hasn't been pretty, but if you remember last year, Andy Dalton had the car crash that resulted in Bryce Young coming back as the starter. And I actually have the stats right here. Bryce Young, his stats after getting benched. Now, this might not seem like much, but considering what we were saying about Bryce Young before he got benched, this is huge improvement.
Okay.
So in 10 games, they had a 4-6 record. If I'm not mistaken, that was double their win total in his rookie year. So, and he had a completion percentage of nearly 62%. He had 20 total touchdowns, 15 passing, 5 rushing, and you saw a confidence boost in Bryce Young in the second half. I don't know if you watched that game against Philly, but man, I saw a whole different quarterback. I'm like, that is the guy that they drafted number one overall. And I'm looking at this guy thinking, man, all it takes is one good year. And he's going to go from being potentially the worst bust in the NFL since Jamarcus Russell back in '07, or he's going to be one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league in the blink of an eye. And yes, I don't like the schedule, but I think with Carolina, the biggest thing for me that I would be worried about is the defense. They had historically one of the worst run defenses in the NFL last year. And that was in large part due because they lost their best defensive player, Derek Brown, who's a nose tackle. He's coming back this season. He'll be back in action. And as far as his weapons go, he's got Ted McMillan, who was drafted in the first round, and he's got Leggett, who they drafted late in the first round last year. And Chuba Hubbard, I don't know if you saw, he got extended last season, mid-season, and it was probably the best season of his career. So got quite a few weapons. They reloaded the offensive line last year. And I mean, I'm just betting on Dave Canales as a coach. I think that he has proven that he can take these quarterbacks, he can elevate them. Geno Smith, career year, Baker Mayfield, career year, and Bryce Young, better than he looked his rookie year. So I'm believing in Dave Canales. I think that Bryce Young, he can only go up from here. So I think Carolina, we're looking at potentially, not to give away my predictions as we're going to reveal later on,
Hmm.
but I think there's potential that they could be second place in the NFC South. I think that's
I
what we
don't.
are looking at. They beat Atlanta last year in Atlanta.
I still have Atlanta slightly having the edge over the Carolina Panthers.
I get it.
Let's just say
I
this.
get it.
Let's just say they split records. Sorry, split like games. each win for each team from those 2 games. I kind of think Atlanta will still have a slightly better record,
Okay.
by a game or two. Might it
I
might
can respect that.
it might come down to week 18, because I mean they don't play. They don't like it might be dramatic too. Like let's just assume like Carolina has to beat the Bucks in order to get a spot or somewhere. Atlanta has maybe I'm just gonna assume an easy win by the time they play the Saints that last game of the season. So, but yeah, I see your vision. I see why you might think otherwise. But don't get me wrong. I don't think, like I said, I do think they're gonna be like a bottom 10 draft pick. I really don't. I mean,
Okay.
that's just my
I'll hold
thing.
you to it.
I'm not. Yeah, you could. We could throw us back
All
in
right.
the future.
All right.
But and if
Yep.
the moment
All
they
right.
get above 500, I'm like, yeah. But that's the beauty of these takes. We're gonna be right. We're gonna be wrong.
No,
That's what it
100%.
is. I'll eat my.
Yep.
And if Bryce Young proves me wrong, I will definitely, I'll acknowledge that. It's something that people in first
Yep.
don't do. So I'll definitely do that. Some ESPN analysts, I don't know me, so it's not like I can diss them. But no, I'll definitely I can kind of see where Bryce Young will be heading off to. But it's one of those things where I still need to see more.
I get that. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
we
gotta
need to
see
see him. We need to see him do it in a 17 game stretch, not
Yes.
just 10, because it is
Yeah.
a long season and it can be tough, especially for a quarterback his size. So
Absolutely.
I do respect that, but this is more so me betting that Canales is going to help Young get there.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
yeah, and this is a Tampa fan talking. I'm bullish. I think the Panthers are going to take that next step here pretty soon.
Who do you got next?
Who do I have next? So this is the last team that I have in the AFC. I don't know if you had anybody else, but
I do.
I have the Miami Dolphins. Are they on your list?
They're not actually. They're not.
Okay.
They're not.
Great. So they have a over/under of 7.5. So it's actually the same as Las Vegas. I don't know if I.
I mean,
That's interesting to me.
Wait, what was the game? What was it? What did Las Vegas give? How many games?
Las Vegas was 7.5. So they're both.
That's kind of high.
The same.
I
know.
I don't know. We'll have to see to believe it.
Pretty high. I mean,
yeah.
Better coach, better quarterback than last year. I mean, it's hard not to have a better coach than Antonio Pierce and a better quarterback than Gardner / Aiden O'Connell. So it makes sense. The big win boost. But Miami, they have an over under of 7.5. And let's just get into the schedule real quick. So we all know if you don't know anything about Miami, they start fast. They tend to start fast in September. So Indianapolis, I think that's an easy win. It's in a dome. That's perfect for Tua. And then you have New England in Miami. For whatever reason, New England struggles in Miami. They just can't take the September humidity in Florida. So I could see that as a go either way game, especially we still don't know what this New England team is going to be. Like at the very least, if Tua is healthy, we know what he's capable of doing with this offense. Then they have to go at Buffalo in September.
Nope.
Hey, that's a loss. It's a loss. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But it's a lot better that they're playing them in September in Buffalo rather than in December in Buffalo.
Their next matchup is November 9th. So yeah, you're kind of right. At least I don't know how cold it will be by November 9th, but
right. So at least they have somewhat of at least the playing field is a little bit more even though we all know Buffalo's probably going to roll them. And then after that, they have the Jets at home, so they get 3 of their division rivals. All of their divisional.
Who made the schedule?
All of their divisional rivals, excuse me, in the month of September. It's crazy.
That should be illegal. I would hate that.
This is actually a Monday night game, so this very well could be a win. And then they
the Bills won. The Bills won prime time.
On the road at that it is. You're right. Yeah. It's Thursday night football. So they actually get a longer rest. They get a really long rest. I have 11 days.
Here's another meme. Why does the Jets and Dolphins have a primetime game too? What's this? Okay, continue.
I'm sorry, bro. It's the Miami and New York media. They're just
they're
more I don't remember what word I was going to use.
No,
But
you're good.
then they have Carolina at Carolina
Yeah.
at 1:00. This is off a short rest. Then they have the Chargers. That's tough. They have Cleveland at Cleveland.
No.
That's a win. I'm sorry.
No, it's
That's a
not.
win.
No, it's not. No, it's
It
not.
is.
I'll hold you
It is
to
a
it.
win.
I'll hold you to it.
Okay, sounds good.
My heart
If
says
it
no.
were late November, I'd probably give y'all the edge, but
I
it
don't
is
think-
not late November.
We'll see.
At Atlanta, that looks like that could be a low key, pretty underrated game if we're talking offense.
Let's just assume
That
that
could be
Tua is
tough.
still behind in the pocket.
Yes. They have another Thursday night football game against Baltimore.
They get 2 Thursday night football games. Are you kidding me? That's not
2.
Oh, that's
And
ridiculous.
then they get Buffalo at home. This is actually this is crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think that this team is making the playoffs. They are definitely not number 1 overall pick worthy, just based off of the first 10 weeks alone.
Here's a hot take.
Like-
I don't think they're going to be number 2 in the division. But you can see.
Hey, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
I'm actually with you.
Yeah.
And so they get Buffalo at home, week 11. They get Washington at home. Then they get the bye week, and then they get the Saints. They get the Jets on the road. That'll be tough in New York. Then they have to go. You're going to be mad at me.
They have
they have a Monday night football game against Pittsburgh.
Why? So they took our primetime games. They have one against the Ravens and Steelers. Are you kidding me?
Miami has way too many primetime
I
games. I will
agree.
give you that. Dude, what
They
are we
have a Bengals
doing,
one.
y'all?
They have another
What
one
are we
against the
doing?
Bengals? What? Wait, how
What
many
are we
primetime games is
doing?
this? And guess what? Well, week 18 is a flex for a reason. Trust me. We have
That could be New England trying to be the 7th seed and make the playoffs.
And I can definitely see that for sure. I don't think though. Oh, we have a little Florida Bowl, the Florida feud going on. I didn't know that.
Yep,
3 days
and
after Christmas.
Tampa Bay week 17, and then week 18, obviously at New England.
I'm-
Dude, whoever made the schedule did Miami a ton of favors.
Yes, I agree with you. I mean,
Just
3 straight rival games. They get them out of the way early. Are you kidding me? What is
I know
that?
you are mad
I'm
right
more
now.
mad about
I
the
know.
primetime games. That's ridiculous, man. I mean,
This is insane.
look, I know the Browns suck, but give me the Thursday night football game slot, like whatever. Because I feel like when it comes to any primetime games, Thursday night football tend to have like the weaker slot. I think Sunday night football game is usually like the popcorn and soda, hey. And then Monday night football game, you might actually wake up or you might watch the TV and see a really interesting game, but. I'm low-key kind of mad if whoever assigned the schedule so we don't have a Panthers doesn't have a primetime game either.
I don't even need to touch much on this. Just reading that schedule alone proves that they are not going to be worthy of the number 1 overall pick. But I will say this: 2023 is the only season that I can remember where Tua stayed healthy all year long, and that's including his college career as well. If Tua stays healthy, this team is going to be, at the very most, I think their ceiling is 9 wins, I'd say. But if he gets hurt, which has happened in the past, it happens almost every year, that this team is probably going to be, I don't know, between 4 to 8, maybe 4 to 7. 4 to 7,
You think-
somewhere in that range, but not number 1 overall pick worthy. But the schedule is crazy though.
Yeah.
Just reading it right here, like this is my first time like actually looking at it.
Yeah, me too.
I've discussed it with friends before, but now that I'm like actually looking at it and the times that these guys are playing, like it's ridiculous, man. This is not a number 1 overall worthy team. And with that, we've only got one team in the entire AFC that I think could have the number 1 pick, and it's Cleveland.
What? No.
Cleveland's it. That's it. That's the only one that I can see. I have 3 in the NFC.
I don't think we're gonna be that bad. I'm really hoping we're not, because at least I have. If they are, at least I have Ohio State.
Hey,
so that's about it.
I hear you, but
Well,
oh man,
here's
let
the
me
doozy.
just tell you, I think it's going to be a return to classic Cleveland. You guys are going back to your
why?
roots.
I don't like that. I don't think so. I really hope not, man. I don't think we are, and I think we'll talk more how many wins when we like do predictions in the future. But I do think
Yeah.
I think we'll have. I think I'm a little bit positive. I like to
Okay.
tend to think, Joe Flacco, this unk still have it in him. This unk still have it.
I
Maybe
don't. I'm sorry.
you don't.
Unk doesn't
2023.
have it.
You don't think he can do it
Unk
again?
does it. He has it week 1 against Cincinnati. He doesn't have it any other week after that.
I don't like that Dylan Gabriel's. Dylan Gabriel's QB2.
Yikes.
Yeah, Shador's QB3, and we trade Kenny Pickett. So at least we have our act together. Deshaun Watson keeps sending workout tapes, like he keeps showing it off, and I'm like, we don't care, bro. That's okay. If you can go back to 2020 Deshaun Watson, I wish. But anyways,
All right,
my
Irving,
next team.
who is your next team?
Well, I'm actually really surprised you didn't think of this team at all, and maybe you could prove me wrong. But they
Are they in the NFC?
No, I have one more actually in the NFC, but this is my next team. It's not my final team. However, they do have a rookie coach by the name of Aaron Glenn for the New York Jets. I think New York Jets, I think that Jets team is going to be a doozy. I think so. You don't think so? I don't trust, and I'll tell you why.
This is a hot take.
This is a hot take?
know this is a very hot take. I think New York is going to be a lot better than people think.
I think, but here's the thing, though. I think when it comes to the AFC,
I think so.
The AFC East, Buffalo wins the division. I think New England Patriots actually comes in second, and I think it's a two horse race between the Jets and Dolphins. The reason why, and maybe I think Patriots. I think my hot take might be this. Patriots could be the second best team in that division to make the playoffs in a lower seed. I think that take is more popular actually. But I do.
It
think,
is. It is actually.
It? Okay, so maybe it's not a hot take. However, I do think the Jets has a chance to get the number 1 pick in the AFC. You have Aaron Glenn, who was the assistant defensive backs coach with Cleveland Browns from 2014 to 2015, and then same line of coach with New Orleans Saints for 4 years. Then became the DC with the Detroit Lions. Okay, we'll see. I see where your resume is at, Mr. Aaron Glenn. But can it translate well as a head coach with the New York Jets? The reason why I have their schedule pulled up, we shall see once I get it pulled up. All right, week 1 against the Buffalo Bills, absolutely not. I don't think they're going to win that in New York Jets. I think actually this.
I disagree.
What?
I think they're going to beat Pittsburgh. I do.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking at week 2. Sorry.
So you're talking week 2 Buffalo, right?
Week 2 Buffalo, they're not going to
win. Week 2 Buffalo, they won't win, but they're going to keep it close. They play Buffalo really close.
Because here's the thing, and I'll say why.
Every year they play Buffalo close, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
at least once.
And New York, I think, but the reason why, look, I'm hoping Steelers are going above 500. This is not me rooting on them at all. I'm not rooting on the Steelers. I'm not trying to think they're going to get a win. The Steelers have a magical way of winning week 1 games. They just do, and I've seen it before. But it'll be revenge of Justin Fields. Wait, I didn't realize that. Wait, this is cinema. Wait, Aaron Rodgers versus
Aaron Rodgers and Justin Fields. Yeah, right.
Wait,
isn't that crazy?
Did you just realize that too, or did you know that already?
I mean, the Justin Fields thing I forgot about, but Aaron Rodgers, yes, I knew about that.
Wait, I just realized that because this is my first time looking at their schedule too, by the way. But no, battle of the QBs, battle of the mids, you can say. We'll see how that one goes. It's a 1:00 game.
I think mid is the best that Jets fans can hope for, and that's around where I'm believing they're going to be.
Well, let's just throw that game. Who knows?
I know I'm probably on an island here, but
no, you're good.
Care. I'm convicted, man.
It's good hot take. If my hot take is that I don't think the Browns will have the number 1 pick, hey, I don't think they will, because there's one team that I know that will, and we'll get to that later. We have the Bills. Week 2. Nope, I don't think so. I think there'll be more Bills fans in MetLife Stadium, anyways. Somehow, some way. Then you have the Jets in Tampa Bay. Don't think so. Jets and Dolphins.
I'll give. I could probably give the edge to the Dolphins there. Monday night is tough in Miami.
Now here's a team that I don't know. Jets and Cowboys week 5. I don't think so.
I don't like that.
I
I
don't like.
don't like that matchup for Dallas. I don't.
It's in New York. Oh, actually, they could win
It's
that
in
one.
New York.
They
Oh,
could win that for obvious reasons, but we'll
we've
get to that
struggled
later.
against New York, man.
New York Jets, really?
Yes, we've
Uh,
struggled.
I would say no against the Broncos. I
It's across the pond though.
We'll
There's
see.
no home field advantage.
We have the Carolina Panthers. They have the Carolina Panthers the next week.
That's a go either way game.
That can go either way. They have Cincinnati Bengals, but
That's go either way.
I don't think so
That's
because
go
it's
either
not
way.
it's not the beginning of the season. I think Joe Burrow's and Jamar Chase and hopefully Zach Taylor will have the act together by that time. But
Will the defense though? Will the defense though? That's a game where Brees Hall could go for 150 on the ground and 100 in the air.
But this is where what's funny. Even though the Jets defense is good too, I'm not convinced with their offense. At least Brees Hall might be good. I'm just not convinced. I love Justin Fields. I mean, Ohio State Buckeye.
I mean, how about the other Ohio State Buckeye, Garrett Wilson?
I like him too. And
he's really good.
He's really
man.
good.
He's really good.
No, him and Chris
I
Olave,
love Garrett Wilson.
Jackson Smith, those guys, Marvin Harrison, those guys in that receiver room we had at the time was electric. But we'll see. I don't know. Browns and Jets. Don't think so. I think Browns are going to win that one because a little fun fact: we have Justin Fields' number. That's just a little
probably
put him. But anyways, Jets and Patriots. That could be a really good one, but it's in Gillette Stadium, and I just think they're going to lose that one. Then they have the Ravens in Baltimore. I hate Baltimore, but Baltimore's going to win that one. They got the Falcons. That could be a really good game. We'll see how Atlanta.
That'll be a good one.
Atlanta and New York, and then they have the Dolphins. Could go either way, but
I'm going Jets there.
It's in December,
I'm going Jets.
So yeah, it's in December. We'll see how that goes. Jaguars, Jets. I don't think that game will be entertaining at all, though. I don't know, maybe. But Jets and Saints. Jets are going to win that one.
Jets, absolutely.
Jets and Patriots. I actually think. Look, hear me out. Before I get to the next two, this is where maybe if Jets want to slightly, and I honestly I only see this as a 5-win team, 5-6 win team. I think they'll be below 500. However,
okay, understandable.
I think they're going to lose back to back. If they have any hopes of playoff hopes, it's going to get crushed in the next 2 weeks because they're going to lose against the Patriots and they're going to lose against the Bills. Assuming that the Bills want to, let's just say number 1 seed is what Buffalo is looking for. Yeah, and it's in Buffalo. Yeah, I think the Buffalo is going to win that one. However, look, love Justin Fields. I have no idea what the Bears organization has done to poor Justin Fields to kind of tarnish, despite of a little legacy he might have had with Ohio State. But it's just the way that he translated to the NFL. It just felt so weird, and I'm not. He's going into his 5th year, which makes me fold because I didn't even. Time flies. He's going to his 5th year in the NFL. And he hasn't been on an above 500 team. Now, he has. He's been with, I'm looking at the Steelers. I was dead wrong about that. But other than that, he's been having a tough time. I was kind of confused because a lot of Steelers fans actually told me they preferred having Justin starting with Pittsburgh instead of Russell Wilson.
Right. I've heard that as well.
And, I mean, who knows? Maybe they're that guy. I think will be really hilarious. Let's just say I'm dead wrong. Let's just say Justin Fields plays, probably the best. Let's just assume the best of his career. I don't know who the OC is in New York is, but it just goes to show you how bad Chicago Bears is as an organization. But other than that, I think they could have a really miserable year or a really upbringing kind of year. I actually don't think there's a middle ground. I do think they either have, in their version, the worst they can get is 3 to 4 wins, and the best they can get is about 8-7 wins. So, we'll see how that goes. Other than that, I mean, what's your thoughts?
I think 9 is the ceiling, and the floor is about 5. I would say.
Anything less?
For me, I think that is probably Here's why I'm so confident Justin Fields might work with the Jets. I think this could be, you know what? I'm going to save that for later. We're going to save that part for later. But I love this Jets roster, man. I think that this roster was great last year. I think a big reason why the Jets finished the way that they did last year is them firing Robert Saleh prematurely in week 5 was a little ridiculous. The defense got worse. Aaron, you're dealing with a
I agree.
40-year-old quarterback and who has a lot of drama behind him. So I I think Justin Fields could be set up for a potential comeback player of the year season.
If it
We
goes
have
well.
if it goes well, and they've retooled that offensive line. Garrett Wilson's a great receiver. Brees Hall is a fantastic running back, and Aaron Glenn, despite all the injuries that Detroit had last year, he got as much juice out of that defense as he possibly could have. They still were about average, and that's saying a lot. Depending when you look at the guys that they had. New York, I think that they have a much more talented roster as far as the defense goes. They got Sauce, they got Quinnen Williams, they got a few other defensive linemen, Jermaine Johnson. I think that this is a 7 to 8 win team. I I could see more wins in that schedule than you probably do. I think that they split with Miami. I think they're going to give Buffalo a tough time, and I do think the gap between them and New England is a lot closer than you think. So
We'll see.
just to give
I
just to
no.
give you just to give you a little preview, I think Miami is by far the worst team, even though the schedule suggests otherwise.
Well, that division has an easy schedule, I think.
We are now moving on to the NFC, and I have 4 more teams listed.
Oh, okay.
Irving has 1 more team listed. So, I mean, we're probably knocking down we're knocking down probably 4 teams because I have a feeling I know which team it is, but alphabetical order in the NFC, we have Chicago. So what is their eligibility? They have a rookie head coach, Ben Johnson. This is his first year. Their over under is 7.5 or 8.5, depending on which sports book you go to. And Chicago also finished 5-12 last year. So it was a very underwhelming season. Had to let go of Matt Eberflus. You had a rookie quarterback. It was not pretty. But if we go to the Chicago Bears schedule, they got Minnesota on Monday night. That is week 1. That's, in my opinion, that's a win. I love that you get JJ McCarthy at home.
That might be a really good way to end off week 1 too. I kind of like that game.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
So let's just rip through this schedule real quick. At Detroit, that's going to be tough. I'll say that's a loss. Versus Dallas, I'm going to say that's a W. At Las Vegas, I'm going to say that's a W as well. At Washington, that's going to be a fun one. That is a very underrated matchup.
A little revenge, maybe.
If you keep in mind Chicago and Washington last year, the Hail Mary with Jaden Daniels, plus Ben Johnson and Washington, that whole connection. Then the following week after that, I don't know. That's some people will say Washington. I say that's more of a go either way game.
Well,
versus the Saints, that is a W. At Baltimore, that's a big time loss. At Cincinnati, that's a W. Versus New York,
wait, what?
That's a W. I do not like this defense, man. I hate this defense.
Okay, that's fair.
Dude, it's bad.
If the Bengals suck, then I'm okay with that. But I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, continue.
Yeah. Hey, man. Joe, if this were just quarterbacks, obviously Joe Burrow over Caleb Williams all day, but it takes more than that in my opinion. So that's a little spicy. I'm taking Chicago over Cincinnati. Yeah. Chicago over New York. I could see a world. I could. That's realistic. I don't know what I'm talking about. Chicago over New York. That's at home. At Minnesota, I think, second time around could be tougher. More go either way. Versus Pittsburgh, I think that's a W. I don't like Pittsburgh this year.
I think so.
At Philadelphia, that's a loss. Yeah. Oof, that's tough. That's the Black Friday game, it looks like.
Is it? Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah.
At Green Bay, that's a loss. And versus Cleveland,
that's a loss.
Sorry, buddy. That's a W for Cleveland. That's a W for Chicago.
No, you said it the first time, right? Yeah, no, we'll see how this
Sorry, bro.
goes. No, you're good. But I think those 2 Packers game, I think they lose the Lambeau one, but I think the second one rolls around after that Bears game, or after that Bears game. I think they have that game might be really good. And look, it says TBD, so it could be very well flex to a primetime game.
Yeah. We're looking at, if they're lucky.
It's the last 3 games of the season that's tough for them.
If they're lucky.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to say the ceiling is 10 wins and the floor is
6.
7. So
yeah.
I'm going to say it's between 8 and 9, and that's about where I had them before. So I did a few comps in the last episode, and so for the comp for Chicago, I believe that there's 4 teams that I'm reminded of: the 2016 Bucks, the 2017 Rams, the 2018 Bears, and the 2022 Jags.
Why?
What do they all have in common? They all had quarterbacks going into their second season, and that was the first season of their head coaches and they're offensive minded. So for the Bucks, it was Dirk Cutter. Rams, it was Sean McVay. Bears, it was Matt Nagy. And 22, it was for the Jags, it was Doug Peterson. Now, I think 2017, the 2017 Rams, that's the ceiling. That's if everything goes well. And that's going to be very tough because, Sean McVay is still to this day one of the best head coaches in the league.
Agreed.
And what he did to the Rams in 2017 was absolutely remarkable. He took arguably the worst offense in the league and turned them into an absolute juggernaut. Now, I don't think that that's realistic. I think that the 2016 Bucks has to be the benchmark. I think that, Jameis, I think that there's going to be talks of them being right there for the playoffs, but they're just going to fall short. But there's going to be a lot of hope for Bears fans, man.
Yeah.
I think that they're getting really close. That's my projection. Obviously, it was not pretty last year for Caleb, but you look at that once again, they retooled the offensive line. The offense looks pretty close to what Ben Johnson wants it to look like. I'm a little concerned about the running back room, but it's Ben Johnson reuniting with DeAndre Swift.
Who's their running backs?
DeAndre Swift, and they got a rookie out of Rutgers, I believe.
Oh, that's right.
And one other guy.
The reason why Swift annoys me is because it's just fantasy football reasons.
Right, for sure.
But other than that, I see that, but I also see, let's just say hypothetically, they somehow managed to beat Cleveland, right? You have 3 more games left. Their hopes might glimmer down because that Packers game, look, it's a home game, but we'll see. But let's just assume, like, we're going to talk about how cinema this game is going to be the last game of the season. Let's just assume that, Packers, they win, Niners, they lose. Let's just say that last game of the season determines their playoff outcome against the Lions. And I actually think, because, look, since my favorite team is in the AFC, I'm more knowledgeable about the AFC. I kind of, I know more about the teams we play because we play the teams most. Obviously, you know more. You have 2 teams in the NFC that you like and you love. But people are saying Lions or Eagles number 1 in the NFC. Lions. This is going to be a game where Lions are going to have their starters in for number 1 season reasons. Hopefully, if they're there still. But assuming so, just beginning of the season, that'll be a really good game. That's why the last games of the season are usually flex. So, yeah, I do see what you're saying. I think they'll be slightly better. But I think it's going to be one of those seasons that, look, Ben Johnson, I like his mind, like how he works his offense 100%. Especially with the Lions, man. They had they went nuts a lot of times, and it was pretty cool, pretty electric. But I'm still not sold on the Caleb Williams trade, and maybe because I'm not trying to sound so pessimistic about quarterbacks in this podcast, but I don't know. Caleb Williams, we gotta see how. I'm hoping he glimmer. I hope he kind of suns down the ego a little bit. Maybe he has. I'm not too sure, but we'll see how he goes. But I kind of see it. They might be an exciting team to watch. You remember that one Bears team? I think it was 2017 or 2018. They had Khalil
2018.
Mack.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Really great defense, but they missed. Cody Parkey missed that field goal against the Eagles.
Double doink.
Yep, that double doink that ended their season because they were a fun team to watch that season. I remember that. But we just got to see how it goes from here on out, man. That's
all right, Irving. Who's your team? I think I know who it is.
The last team on my list. is a team that I'm actually gonna do some receipts. It's a team that wasn't good last year. They had um, some overall picks within or some high lot of draft picks last year. I'm trying to go through my list right now. This team in the second round at the eighth pick, missing Jalen Monroe, even Shador Sanders, Will Howard, Riley Leonard, even Quinn Ewers. You could put just some big names in college. There's just a guy that I got to see how he works. But this team picked Tyler Show. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Tyler Shuck.
Yeah, Tyler Shock. The New Orleans Saints is a team that I think is going to be a dumpster fire this upcoming season. They will not be a fun team to watch. There's a reason why they don't have a primetime game with the Browns as well. Yeah,
Right.
head coach Kellen Moore. He's the Cowboys quarterback coach and the offensive coordinator. Look at that. And then he was offensive coordinator with the Chargers and then with the Eagles. So he won the Super Bowl last year as an OC, correct?
Yep.
The only problem is that I think he has enough pieces with Alvin Kamara, but look, rookie quarterback. We have to look at the schedule. Let's look at the schedule, Johnny Merrill. They're hosting the Cardinals, maybe, but I'm not convinced.
W.
I don't know. I gotta see.
In New Orleans, I'm taking the W.
We'll
New
see.
Orleans is going to be fired up.
Week
Even though there's
1,
not much to be fired up about, I think they'll be fired up week 1.
they had Niners week 2.
That's tough.
They have Seahawks in Seattle.
Loss.
Then they have the Bills. And then, this could be a doable. Then they have the Giants afterwards. We'll see how that goes. Then they have the Patriots. That's a loss, I believe. They have the Bears.
Yeah.
That's a loss.
I got one win so far.
They have the Bucks. That's a loss. They
That's a loss.
They have the Rams in LA. Sean McVay, mastermind. That's a loss. They have Carolina. We'll see. Who knows? But it's
I'm
a
going to
away
give
game.
them the W.
Then they have Atlanta. I think Atlanta beats them. I know. They have Miami.
I'm gonna give them one game against Atlanta.
I don't think they actually will beat Miami though. Can go anyway.
Miami's tough at that point. Is Tua still going to be healthy?
We'll see, but I just don't think
if it's full strength though. If it's full strength,
I don't think so. I don't know.
Hot take. I'm going W.
Then they have the Bucks. I don't think so. They have Carolina and New Orleans. I think they lose the away one. I think they might win this one. Then they have the Jets. I think the Jets beat them. Then they have the Tennessee Titans. I don't know. Maybe Cam Ward can get a read on them. I do think Cam Ward. I think they have the better quarterback. I think they have even the better weapons. Yes, Saints have Alvin Kamara, but I mean, who's that tight end that always plays quarterback for trick plays? What's his name again? That's Hayden Smith.
Oh, Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill. I got you. But and then you have the New Orleans Saints against the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not too sure about that one. It's just that's the last game of the season, I believe. I'm not convinced. I see if we're gonna do floor and ceiling, I see floor 5 wins. Or sorry, ceiling 5 wins. I think floor is 2 wins. Or sorry, floor 2 wins. I'm not convinced.
Okay, got it.
Ceiling,
got it.
5 wins. Floor, 2 wins. I do think if there's gonna be if there's gonna be a race for the number 1 pick, if you're gonna see the Browns, I think the Saints might also be up there with us as well.
Saints are up there for sure.
Yeah.
I will give you that. This Saints team is dreadful.
Abysmal. Yeah, there won't be a fun team to watch. It's not like they're not gonna be fun like Jameis Winston with the Browns last year. This is gonna be like a team that you're gonna feel bad for, and you're gonna feel bad for the fans, and this is gonna be really tough. I see no hope for them. So I don't believe in this team. I'm not convinced with them. I think they'll be lucky to even have 5 wins, and that's my take right there.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, Irving. The over-under is 6.5. I think it's definitely under. Looking at the schedule again, I actually went over the schedule with a friend of mine a month ago, and I was pretty confident 5-6 wins. Like they could squeak by. Now I'm not as confident looking at their schedule again because maybe I feel better about some teams than I did before. But I will say this: I think the team that everybody usually thinks is going to have the number one overall pick, and in this case, I think for the most part, everybody thinks it's going to be the Saints. The majority of people do. I don't think it's gonna happen. Like they're gonna get a win over a team that you don't expect them to. Because that's not just like that's something that you get with every team. Every team, like you might jot it down as a loss and it's a W. Like it just happens. Every team has at least one or two games like that a season. So even the bad teams. So I think the Saints it's hard to sell myself on the Saints. Like at the end of the day, I do think this team is going to be bad, but the one thing that I think New Orleans can hang their hat on is they do have reliable weapons. Alvin Kamara is still a lethal weapon, and I especially love Kellen Moore Kellen Moore combining with Alvin Kamara in 2025. We saw the season that Saquon Barkley had under Kellen Moore last year, and I think that I don't expect Alvin Kamara to do what Saquon did last year, but Alvin was Saquon before Saquon the year before. I think that if you run him, if you run him till the wheels fall off and you limit the amount of passes that Tyler Shuck or Spencer Rattler or whoever is going to be under center this year. If you limit their passes and you just feed it to Alvin Kamara the majority of the time, like I think this team will be in better shape. And even then, like you're walking into the league. If you're what's his name? If you're Tyler Shuck, you get Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed as your top two targets. Not many rookie quarterbacks can say that those are their top two targets. Like, he's pretty lucky to have those guys. So I think that this team is going to be bad. They're not going to be good. It's not going to be pretty, but I think they're going to squeak more wins out than you think. And I think this team kind of reminds me, to give you a comp, of the 2019 Dolphins. Everyone thought that was going to be one of the worst teams of all time. And what did they do? They ended up drafting fifth overall. So I
Yeah,
think, and
I remember
Brian
that.
Flores was also a rookie. That's another similarity. So I think New Orleans isn't going to be as bad as people expect, but they're not going to be good. So
Nope.
that's the bottom line. I'm expecting 4 or 5 wins, which is close to number one overall pick worthy. They're there. They're right there. I think they're in the top four or bottom four for me. So yeah, Irving. There's two
Mm.
teams left on this list, and I
Right
know
here.
I've been talking in alphabetical order. I'm just gonna rip through this one
I know
because
you do.
if you watched our first episode, you guys already know how I feel about the New York Giants. I think Brian Dayball at some point this season is going to get fired. I think there's a very high chance that he is going to be the first one to get fired. And I actually don't think Brian Dayball is the worst head coach in the world. I just think he's been set up to fail
Yeah,
this year
I agree with
because
that.
of how crazy the schedule is. And I don't even think this roster is the worst I've ever seen. Like, dude, you have Andrew Thomas as your left tackle. You have Malik Neighbors, who lit it up last year as a rookie. You have an underrated running back who was a rookie last year, Tyrone Tracy. For those of you fantasy football players out there, you might remember Tyrone Tracy. And they have an absolutely stacked defensive line. But despite all that, their schedule is really tough. And
Mhm.
there's, even if they do squeak out a few wins here and there, and even the quarterback room, Russell Wilson, is the quarterback room an improvement on last year? Sure. Russell Wilson is not the same as he used to be, he, but he could be league average and still play decently. And Jackson Dart, he's still a bit of an unknown. I'm fading Jackson Dart as an NFL starting quarterback, but could he be better than Daniel Jones? Maybe. But the point being,
Mm.
there's little room for error for the Giants this year. John Mara already said earlier this offseason that he's running out of patience, and that just tells me the clock is ticking. And the only reason
Isn't that kind of his
why
fault?
the only reason why Brian Daboll still has a job, because you could argue he should have been fired last year. The only reason he still has a job is so he doesn't have to be attached to Daniel Jones. Because we can look at the first 3 years of Brian Daboll's career and be like, well, he had Daniel Jones as his quarterback. Every coach is going to struggle with him.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, even with Russell Wilson, even if he plays average, is average going to be good enough against the Commanders, the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Eagles, the Broncos defense, the 49ers, the Bears, who I think are going to be average, the Packers defense now, the Lions, the Patriots? Like, dude, this schedule is brutal. So I look at that schedule and I don't have to go over it again. We didn't even go over it the first episode. Just look it up yourself. I can't find more than 5 wins. Can I even find 5 wins? That's the thing. Their over under is actually lower than New Orleans. Can you believe it? 5.5. 5.5. I'm taking the under there, baby. So New York, New Orleans, and Cleveland. But I'm not finished yet.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you have some thoughts on New York, by the way, before I get to the final team?
I think they'll be. They might. I think it's funny. I think they'll be the last team, like last place in their division. I don't think the record will be that bad. I think they're going to get a measly 5 wins. But the whole Brian Daboll situation, it really just dates back. It wasn't him. The idea of just giving Saquon Barkley to the Eagles was absolutely crazy, in my opinion. Like, if there's anything worse than trading away your probably franchise player, but
they didn't trade him away.
Trade him.
They didn't know that. At the end of the day, they didn't think that. Yes. You go back and watch that clip. That's what's so funny about it. You did not, sorry to interrupt you, by the way, but they did not mean to let him slip to the Philadelphia Eagles, because at the end of the day, they did not think that Philly was in the running for him. They thought it was going to be Chicago, probably.
Yeah, but sorry from not a trade as what, but the whole point was just that the fact that they were really convinced about Daniel Jones is where that kind of I don't know. I didn't see Daniel Jones from the beginning, and I don't know why a lot of people did. But yes, continue on.
They should have never extended him. Never. Absolutely. So yeah, I think that Cleveland is eligible, and I also think they are very close. They are, in my opinion, a number 1 overall pick worthy team. I think New York is number 1. That is the Giants. I think
it's like 2017 again. 2018. Yeah.
And then there's one other team I want to talk about. And man, as the season gets closer and closer, the more pessimistic about this team I become. And I am talking about the team whose shirt I am wearing right now. Man, I hate admitting this as a fan, but oh man. The schedule looks worse than it did a month ago. It looks a lot worse. So today is Thursday, August 28th. And just a few hours ago, we had some big news. You could argue outside of the draft, this was probably the biggest storyline of the offseason.
Yeah.
Are the Cowboys going to extend Micah Parsons? Are they going to trade him? And as of a few hours ago, the Cowboys traded Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers. So this is a big deal because of how big of a star Micah Parsons is. And it's also a big deal as far as the 2 brands that are involved. And the Cowboys, they are very much a rival. Maybe not the same way as Philadelphia or New York, but absolutely a rival if you take history into account. Yeah. But we got a really nice return for Micah Parsons. We got 2 first-round picks. I couldn't be more happy about that. And in a perfect world, I think you pay CeeDee Lamb and you pay Micah Parsons, but you let Dak walk. because I just don't think that Dak is worth the money that we gave him at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Dak at one point was a really good quarterback. He was an MVP candidate, but then you saw what he looked like in the playoffs. He looked like, I mean,
lights were too
he looked
bright.
like he looked like Will Levis in the playoffs. He looked really bad, dude.
Oh man.
But yeah, and we'll get to the schedule in a minute. But
Yeah.
I need to let you guys know how far this team has fallen off. 2021, 2022, and 2023, we won 12 games each of those 3 seasons. You want to know how much has changed? They were really good. I'm not going to say they were great because obviously they didn't do anything in the playoffs, but they were a really good regular season team. They were a team that you kind of, for the most part, respected. So obviously, Dak is still there. CD is still there. Micah is no longer there. But you look at the running back room is different. You had the Thunder and Lightning, Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard. They are both, Zeke isn't even on a team as of right now. Tony Pollard is on the Titans. Kellen Moore was our offensive coordinator. He has since become the Chargers offensive coordinator, the Eagles offensive coordinator, and now the New Orleans head coach. And then we brought in Brian Schottenheimer as our offensive coordinator, even though he wasn't the play caller. The offensive line, man, has fallen off so bad, dude. Tyron Smith, who was one of the better left tackles in football, became a New York Jet. Zach Martin retired this offseason. And this offensive line is full of a bunch of young guys, full of a bunch of guys that are either washed or really young. And then you look at the defense. Look at how far that's fallen off. Dan Quinn, who was our defensive coordinator, is now the head coach with, oh man, how did we let him slip to Washington, bro?
Yeah.
We let him go in division.
He's a great DC mind too.
He is fantastic as a DC, and it's almost like I'm not going to say it's the same level as New York letting Saquon go and him going to the Eagles, but it stings. It really stings. The defense is not the same, and it's especially not the same now that Micah Parsons isn't there. So the point I'm trying to make is this team has fallen off very far from what they were back in 2021. And man, this is easily, in my opinion, the worst roster that Dak Prescott has ever had. And, you know, the defense, I was thinking about this in preparation for today. If there is a world that exists, and it does exist because as of a few hours ago, it became very true that if Micah Parsons is not on this team, this is a bottom 5 defense in the NFL. And if this is a bottom 5 defense in the NFL, I don't think there's enough on offense to help bail this team out. Because I look at guys that have had success or a little bit of success with bad defenses. Drew Brees, for the longest time, between the year they won the Super Bowl to the time that they retooled their defense and got your guy, Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah.
Their defenses were rough, man, and Drew Brees was doing everything in his power. He was having to pass 5,000 yards every season.
Yeah.
And this is Drew Brees we're talking about. One of the best quarterbacks, in my opinion, the best quarterback to never win MVP. And, you know, they went a few years without making the playoffs, and it didn't look good until they finally fixed the defense and they were back to making the playoffs and winning the NFC South every year. Mm-hmm. And you look at Mahomes, his first year, he had to deal with the worst pass defense in the entire league. It took Patrick Mahomes playing like the MVP of the league. He won MVP that year in his first full year as a starter. He had to play like the MVP in order for them to have a fighting chance to go as far as they did. It's actually remarkable that they did. And it's crazy how they fired the defensive coordinator. They hired Steve Spagnuolo, of all people. And Of course they won the Super Bowl the following year. Like, you should have expected that. Dak is not in the same category as those guys. Especially, I don't even know which version of Dak we're going to get. Are we going to get Dak at the beginning of 2024 before the hamstring injury, or are we getting a worse version of Dak Prescott? Because if that is the case, I don't see how this team is going to play catch up. Dak has never been good from behind. He needs to play with a lead, and he is also terrible against teams above 500.
Yeah.
So just looking at this schedule real quick, man. At Philadelphia, massacre. Versus New York, let me tell you, with that offensive line and that defensive line matchup, it's going to be scary.
Before you, oh, sorry, guy, I didn't mean to interrupt.
You're good. You're good.
Before you continue on, because
go ahead. Help me out. I know
that's what I was gonna.
I'm very pessimistic here.
I want to let you cope with it. You know, I fear that Myles Garrett was gonna leave us, but I'm so glad he did it. Even though, look, one of the worst teams in football, but Michael Parsons. By golly. By the way, I just wanted to pull this up. I can't pull it because it won't mirror. But, by the way, Jerry Jones was asked about the trade. And just in a short quote, he said, "We need to stop the run." That was one of the reasons why. That was his reason. And he was hoping to get Pro Bowl players and other stuff. Of course, you'll watch the interview after this podcast. But all I got to say is I cannot wait for week 4. I don't know if you know that. Did you see week 4?
I know.
I cannot wait for that game.
I know.
Oh, that's a primetime game, too. Look at that. I didn't see that. Is that a prime?
Sunday night. Wow, look at that. We never play the Packers on Sunday night.
Would it be worse? Would it be worse if Micah Parsons went to the Packers or San Francisco?
You know the answer. You know the answer.
Okay, I was just curious about that.
You know the answer.
I couldn't look. Jerry Jones, which I have. I don't think this is a hot take at all. I'm gonna prophesize this, Johnny.
You said prophesize.
Fans are gonna be protesting in AT&T Stadium at the start of the season. Once you guys get that home game against the Giants, there will be fans that are calling for Jerry Jones' job more than ever. Because I know you're one of the very few Cowboys fans that are well, you said you're pessimistic, but I know for the future at least you have something brighter. A lot of fans are pissed because they saw them as a window to be open. This defense most likely will be atrocious. Okay, I got to give you that. But there's a lot of fans that are calling for his job, man. You don't think, look, he's getting old, and I know we've heard the same story for a long time. Like, at what point is Jerry Jones going to hang up the flag? Is it really when he's dead? You know, a lot of people, you think so? Is he that? He's that petty of a guy, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's the Art Modell of you guys. I mean, at least you guys have 5 Super Bowls and a documentary to look back on the glory days. I don't have that. But I'll tell you what, though. I think it's going to be... You'll be all right, Johnny Bear. At least you have the Bucks. But I'll say this. I'm just looking forward to seeing how Dak's going to do. I think Dak, the version that we're going to get with Dak, I'm hoping we get the screaming and running, doing whatever you can to get a win because that's where the stats goes up. Just for the wrong reasons on fantasy. However, I do think at least it's gonna be a worser version. I'm not trying to compare him to Joe Burrow, but it's gonna be the worser version of like Bengals last year in a way. I do think offensively you guys would be all right, ish.
This is,
but defensively,
in my opinion, if I had to give a comp, this is the 2019 Bengals.
Yeah, I agree. Is that Joe Burrow's rookie year?
That was the year before Joe Burrow came along. This was Andy Dalton. And similarly, I think Andy Dalton, the wheels started to fall off with Andy Dalton that last season in Cincinnati. And I think you're going to see the same thing happen with Dak. They had a rookie head coach, Zach Taylor. We have a rookie head coach, Brian Schottenheimer. I didn't even get to Brian Schottenheimer, my guy. Now, I got to give him a little bit of credit. He's in a tough spot. This is not a favorable roster to be coaching, I don't think. Like, I mean, you're gonna do the best that you can with this roster. Like, I don't see it going well, but the thing with Brian Schottenheimer, he's never been in any of these hiring cycles for head coaches, and he's been in the NFL for a long time. His dad is a very well respected coach. He was in the NFL as a head coach. Like, I think he coached like 3 or 4 different teams as a head coach. Marty coached for a long time. Had a lot of success. There's a reason why Brian hasn't gotten a head coaching job up until this point. And I feel like, if anything, this is Jerry just trying to tell the media, I'll show you. I'll turn this guy into a winning head coach. And I don't see it.
Jeez. A
In
publicity
my
stunt? God.
in my opinion, letting go of Mike McCarthy and transitioning to Brian Schottenheimer in-house is a huge downgrade. If this was the move they were going to do, they should have just kept Mike McCarthy. And in my opinion, Mike McCarthy should not have gotten fired. I actually liked Mike McCarthy. I think that he was doing the best that he could with Dak.
I actually didn't.
And
I actually didn't. I thought he was.
I thought he was fine.
I think regular season wise, but you have to. It still baffles me.
I blame Dak. I'm sorry,
No,
but I'm putting the blame on
if
Dak.
you
for
want
that.
to, but the thing with Mike McCarthy is that I also put like I don't understand that this Packers team he wins the Super Bowl in 2010, and after that, it's been so many NFC Championship games. You know, all this.
Wow,
it's
an NFC Championship would be great,
Well,
wouldn't it?
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That would be
But
great if we could go there.
Here's the thing, though. You know how players, it's the lights are too bright for them, whether it's the regular season, playoffs, it's different, right? I believe the same thing applies to coaches. Is what I'm trying to say.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
Mike McCarthy, I just didn't see, and you're also I don't know, you're also a minority to that opinion about Mike. A lot of Cowboys fans did not like Mike McCarthy.
I did. I thought
know,
he was better
but-
than most of us. That's crazy to me that some of us.
Now Jason Garrett. I'm just messing.
Oh gosh, don't even bring him up. Oh, that's where I draw the line. But
I'll let you continue with this.
I think with Mike McCarthy, our standards were a little too unfair with him. Like, were we ever going to win a Super Bowl or even make an NFC Championship with him? Probably not. But if you think that Dak wasn't the reason that they were being held back, like as far as going on a deep playoff run, then you're watching the Cowboys wrong.
He's like the inconsistent. He's like if Jameis Winston was slightly elite, a little bit.
I feel like
you think Jameis was.
I feel like my dad's brought that up before. And
really?
I agree with that. Yeah. Yes, he is a slightly better version of Jameis Winston, and and Jameis has never started in the playoffs. Dak has won 2. At least he's won 2 playoff games. But
for the
at this point,
career.
He's making the results that he's had and the amount of money he's been paid are not comparable. He is getting paid like he is one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the league, but he plays like he is one of the top 20 quarterbacks in the league. So,
yeah,
I say all that to say, is this it? Is this the team that I'm landing on to get the number 1 pick next year?
I don't think so.
It seems too good to be true, man. But man, this roster reeks. At least see, because here's the thing. So our 4 teams, let's recount.
Yeah.
Dallas, New York, Cleveland, and New Orleans. At the very least, New Orleans, you have weapons you can depend on. New York, you have some weapons plus depth at a defensive line. Who am I missing?
Cleveland. I want to hear what you're going to say.
Cleveland. At least you still have Myles Garrett. At least you still have a winning football player.
I have his jerseys in the closet. Yeah, absolutely.
You have one of the 10 best football players, offensive or defensive, in the entire game.
Top 5 player in the game right now.
That's a little hot, but I'll take 10. Okay, I'll take 10. Right. Maybe 5. Maybe 5. Top 4 will be
Continue.
quarterbacks.
What was did you do Titans?
Dallas. What does Dallas do well?
CD Lamb. That's all I say.
What if he gets hurt?
again. What if he sees the sunlight at AT&T Stadium and sorry,
If he gets hurt, who's stepping up?
who's your wide receiver too?
Jalen Tolbert.
Who?
Exactly. Dude, there's not a whole lot. There's light at the end of the tunnel as far as next season
That's a
goes.
long
But as far as this season goes, we gonna be doo-doo.
Can you predict your division record?
Can I predict my division record? I think New York is finally going to hand us a loss because we've owned New York for quite a bit now, and I think we're losing at least one.
I was going to say
at least one.
I think you might be 1-5.
1-5, yeah, that's realistic. We're not beating Philadelphia. We're not beating Washington. We might squeak out one against New York because at the end of the day, the thing with New York, I do believe that New York's going to kill us in the trenches. That's the thing that's going to be our downfall.
Yeah.
The Raiders game, yes, maybe. Arizona, those are 2 Monday. Did you notice this?
What?
We have 2 Monday Night Football games in a row.
I don't blame you guys because it's America's team. You guys are so-called America's team. You guys.
I've never heard of that though.
Back-to-back
team
Monday night?
getting back-to-back. I mean, yes, there's a bye week there, but still.
Oh well, then that I feel like I've seen that before. But back-to-back.
It's
weeks.
still back-to-back. I've never seen that. Even with the Chiefs.
Snap. You guys got Chiefs on Thanksgiving? I'm sorry, bro.
Oh yeah. That's.
I'm sorry, man.
There's still time to change that, CBS. Can we change? I know it's Thanksgiving and it's kind of hard to change that, but can we please change that?
That's funny. That is funny. The Browns haven't had a Thanksgiving game since 1989. Just a little fun fact there. Yeah, 1989.
What you trying to say?
Oh, I'm just trying to. That's the last time we were really good at football.
Oh man. Oh yeah, that's very. Actually, that was one of our worst seasons, 1989.
1989, really.
Because that's when the year after that, we got Troy Aikman #1. To put a cap on this episode, I believe that Dallas is going to have the #1 overall pick. They are going to be that bad. I'm sorry. I have no hope for 2025 except to get the #1 overall draft pick. And if we are still stuck in purgatory, that will be the most Dallas Cowboys thing ever. If they still finish with a mid-record.
Wait, can you give me the floor and ceiling? I really want to hear you.
Like the honestly. Floor and oh man, I don't even know. There's, I can't even find the floor and ceiling with Indianapolis because of how bad the quarterback play is. I don't even know if I can find a proper floor and ceiling for Dallas.
I give you guys a floor and ceiling.
Because of what happened today.
Will it be too high if I say high ceiling is? The purgatory part. If I say ceiling is A games for me, and the floor is 2 games. That's how. I mean,
floor is 2 games. Ceiling is 8. 7.
7. Okay.
I'm gonna give them 7. Who is your team that you are?
Wait,
New Orleans.
New Orleans was my number.
New Orleans is your team.
Yeah.
So Dallas or New Orleans, you heard it here first. It's going to be one of those 2 teams.
Or Cleveland, in your opinion, but yeah.
Cleveland is a very close second. I will say that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to break your heart, buddy, but I think that Cleveland, it's going to be rough.
I think it's going to be funny if both of our favorite teams are in the race for the #1 pick.
See, what are the odds? What are the odds that I picked our 2 favorites?
Oh man. I blame you. But that was on you. But other than that,
at least you guys have a respectable head coach.
If Micah Parsons, if this trade never went down, this might be obvious. Cowboys would have not been in this picture, correct?
They would have been in the picture, but I wouldn't have picked them.
This
Parsons thing really changes things, my guy. It's going to be bad. Bottom five defense. Lock it in.
We'll see.
If they're going to have a bottom 5, 20 here. Let me just go back to that really quick.
Yeah.
2020, we had a bottom 5 defense. The Cowboys were not looking good.
Was that when Dak was injured that year?
He was injured. He got his calf hurt.
I thought he was. What season was he out for a year?
2020. Well, that was the most amount of games that he missed.
I got you.
But here's the thing. The Cowboys offense was a lot better back then. It was a lot better. And I didn't even mention we also lost Amari Cooper during this stretch.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. He had
yeah.
It took us to the
You
playoffs
guys
one
got
year.
Amari. You guys got Amari for a bag of chips. You're so welcome.
I know. That was great. I remember that trade.
I'm still mad about that trade.
That was
I think we gave you guys a 5th round pick.
Yeah. Or no, we gave you.
Makes me sick.
I remember that trade. I was really excited. I mean, hey,
we got a 5th round.
We didn't do much in Cleveland, but I'll tell you what, Amari Cooper was electric in Cleveland. He absolutely was great, and him and Joe Flacco. That Cinderella season at the end of the year, like I still remember that. Like even though, obviously no Super Bowl, we had a great player. He's obviously out there entertaining. So thank you for Amari Cooper. I really appreciate that. That was good.
You're welcome. So yes, this has been a great episode, Irving.
Absolutely.
It's been fun, and I'm really looking forward to our next episode, and I'm really looking forward to the season. I think our shows are going to look a little bit different from here on out, and I'm really looking forward to it. The off season, there's a lot of speculation, and we're just ready for NFL action to return. We're ready to actually get down to the nitty gritty and actually dive into the games a little bit. And I'm so excited for that, man. We only have 1 week to go. We have a big weekend of college football coming up.
Yep.
And
man,
it's finally upon us. I'm so glad that football is actually right here. But thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. Our next episode will be our predictions. I am very much excited for that. So we will be breaking down who's finishing first, second, third, fourth in each division. We'll talk about who's winning MVP, Coach of the Year, Comeback Player of the Year, Rookies of the Year, all of that stuff. We're looking forward to it, man. And we will see you guys next time.